Now, the typhoon tragedy in the Philippines. A young mother comforts her baby, one of the hundreds of thousands of victims as a country hopes for healing. Welcome back to News Channel 5 at 11. I'm Michael Baldwin. More on the typhoon story in just a minute. But first, looking ahead to the threat of severe weather. Let's check in with Elisa Mlinovitz.
Well, Michael, we are concerned about the weather for tomorrow. The Power 5 Doppler radar network, we've got some ground clutter on there, but as I pull the screen back, you can see we've got a couple of hit and miss showers, mostly between Millersburg and Coshocton. Not a lot of rain at this time. However, as I broaden out the picture further, you can see what is coming our way. We're going to have two waves of showers that come through. This first one coming through tomorrow morning, starting at around 6 a.m. or so, but it's another system coming through later in the day, probably around 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, that has us concerned for the potential for some severe weather. Talking about very strong straight line winds and even the possibility of tornadoes. We're going to talk more about that coming up when we look at the forecast in just a little bit. Michael?
Thank you, Lisa. The U.S. Navy is working overtime tonight in the Philippines, rescuing people stranded by Typhoon Haiyan. Navy helicopters are shuttling evacuees rescued from remote areas ravaged by that storm. They're also delivering much-needed aid to other regions. The death toll from the typhoon is more than 3,000. Hundreds of thousands of people have been forced from their homes by the storm. Some places have been without food or clean water for a week. Now, what can we do here at home? That was the question that kick-started a drive in Lorain as one woman pushes to get supplies to the Philippines. News Channel 5's Stephanie Ramirez tells us it's an act of love.
What's normally Spa Cecilia in Lorain, right off of Cooper Foster Park Road, transformed Saturday into Operation Philippines as spa employees and family packed boxes of goods today, needed goods like baby supplies, toiletries, and towels, all going to the hundreds of thousands still struggling in the typhoon aftermath.
I cannot even imagine what they're going through because I know of one person who was swept away by the flood. He said that I cannot even swim up because I'll get hit by all the debris.
And not only that, Maria Escuro tells us her own brother was caught in the deadly storm trying to find his wife.
Can you imagine, the panic that we had, the anxiety, until finally we were able to talk to him on cell phone.
Thankfully, he survived, but the thought of all of the people still struggling did not sit well with Escuro. So the spa owner hit Facebook asking for help.
Here's stuff for the babies.
The result, this first collection, which even became an emotional time for those packing.
People having no water, no food, living on the ground. I could not imagine. We are so fortunate here. I've never gone a day without food, never gone a day without water. $5 could feed a whole family for multiple days over there, and that's what I spend at Starbucks in one stop.
This is going to take years. This is not going to be a one-time thing.
Maria says there's still a lot of help needed in the Philippines, so she's going to actually continue to collect up until the new year. And she also says if anyone has anything they'd like to drop off, to bring it here, and she'll make sure to send it over. On your side in Lorain, Stephanie Ramirez, News Channel 5.
Thank you, Stephanie. Spa Cecilia is located at 1980 Cooper Forester Park Road if you'd like to donate. You can find their hours on our website at newsnet5.com. All right, if you want to donate to the Red Cross recovery efforts in the Philippines, the American Red Cross recommends giving money. You can donate $10 to the Disaster Relief Fund by texting Red Cross to 90999. All right, 18 years after she disappeared and was murdered, finally today a funeral service for Christina Atkins. That service was held this afternoon on Detroit Avenue in Cleveland. Christina was 18 years old when she was last seen near the home on the city's west side. Her remains were found buried near the Jennings Freeway last month. A man described by police as a sexual predator, Elisa Acevedo, has been charged with Atkins' killing. And there was a special honor today in East Cleveland for the victim of another headline-grabbing violent crime. The teen department at the East Cleveland Public Library is now named after 18-year-old Sherelda Terry. Terry was one of the 3 women found murdered earlier this year. A man named Michael Madison is charged in all 3 killings. Library officials wanted to honor Terry's life because she loved to read and encouraged others to do so. So they thought naming the teen section after her was a fitting tribute. Well, young people got together in Cleveland today to try to find solutions to problems we all face. The Youth Solutions Congress was held at Cleveland State University. 115 area teens invited local leaders to come and discuss ways to solve problems affecting Northeast Ohio, including education, healthcare, and public safety. Well, new tonight, we've learned a popular restaurant chain is closing 3 Northeast Ohio locations. Managers at the Champs Americana restaurant in Lyndhurst and Westlake say their restaurants are closing, as is the one in Valley View. At least 300 jobs could be lost. Now, employees are being offered severance. No official word yet from the company. Come mid-December, the new Hard Rock Northfield Park Rock Casino should be all set for you to take part in a first of its kind. It will be the first owned and operated gaming facility for Hard Rock International, the parent company that usually will franchise out the restaurants and casinos on Saturday. It was all about filling job positions. Jobs, jobs, jobs. And the folks there like to call their new employees rock stars. It's the first Hard Rock Casino property with no hotel attached. It's just a casino floor, and this is what it will look like when it's all said and done. So these guys are not horsing around, as a total of 750 people are needed to run it. On Saturday, they're looking to hire over 300.
Ideally, I'm looking for being a bartender or a server. I'm a people person.
The Hard Rock folks say they're looking for people with that winning personality. They did something a bit unusual, holding a group interview and asking questions like, describe yourself in one word.
Trustworthy.
The folks here say they were comfortable with how things went.
Oh, I love it. It's actually fun. It's not like a boring interview. You're sitting there talking and you're like, okay.
We want to ensure that people are comfortable with delivering great guest service and have a passion for it and a passion for hospitality.
The $265 million facility will have about 2,300 slots, and the operators believe its location will make it a success.
Being almost equidistant between the Akron-Canton area and downtown Cleveland, that we're able to serve a significant portion of Northeast Ohio. And when you generate 800 jobs in this community, that there's nothing but positive with that.
All right, Lucas says you can expect a variety of musical acts to pass through town, from pop music to country to a comedy club they plan to launch in the near future. What else is passing through town is some severe weather might be coming our way.
Yes, afraid so. Very well put. We've got during the day tomorrow 2 waves that we're watching. One coming through in the morning, another one coming through in the evening. And it's that evening wave that has us concerned. It could be a intense storm system, potential for some severe weather. Let's get right to the Power 5 Doppler radar network. Mostly what we're looking on there at this time is just ground clutter, but as I zoom out the picture a bit, we've got some rain showing up. It's all pretty light and not much of it, some near the Millersburg area. As I broaden out the picture further, you can see what is in store for us. This initial line will come through early tomorrow morning, probably starting at about 6 a.m. Then we'll catch something of a break from precipitation. Then another line comes through in the evening. And again, it's the evening system that has us most concerned. Very warm air out there right now. Now, when that collides with cooler air, that's a good potential for severe thunderstorms. We're talking mostly about straight line winds. Right now, temperatures quite warm, 60 degrees at this hour in Menor. That's also the reading in downtown Cleveland. Once again, the temperature out there, 60 degrees. Winds already starting to kick up out of the south at 17 miles per hour. Barometric pressure has been falling throughout the evening hours. We actually got up to 62 degrees today. That is a full 12 degrees above our normal temperature for this time of the year. Okay, here is what's coming. We've got this frontal boundary pushing through 2 lines of thunderstorms, one for the morning and one for the evening. This morning system gets going at about, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. That one works its way through. The next one lines up and starts coming through in the evening around 6 o'clock. Again, that is the one we are the most concerned with. We're talking about some very strong straight line winds accompanying that. Along the squall line, we could see winds gusts as high as 70 miles per hour. Now, once that system clears through, we're going to see much cooler weather funnel in for Monday. For tonight, a low of 54 degrees, staying fairly warm. Rain starting up in the overnight, early morning hours, and strong storms during the day tomorrow. Wind gusts at 45, not uncommon. 70 is a potential for our strong storms in terms of our wind gusts for tomorrow. And then cooler air comes in Monday and sticks around for the next several days. Next chance of rain after that, Friday and Saturday. Michael?
Against her.
Okay.
Let's get her over here.
Okay. Have a seat.
She's the one I want to press charges against.
You want to press charges against me?
You bet your I do. We want to press charges. We want to press charges against her. I'm asking.
Well, trending online, the latest confrontation between Alec Baldwin and the paparazzi in New York City. Tonight, Baldwin says he'll give up acting if it means it'll keep his wife and kids out of the media spotlight. Baldwin says if quitting show business guarantees the photographers will leave his family alone, then he says, quote, it's an easy choice. New tonight, a home once owned by the late U.S. President James Garfield in Hiram has been purchased by Hiram College. The college wants to preserve it as a historical site. It will eventually become part of the college's Garfield Institute. The purchase price was $200,000. A woman who currently lives in the home will be allowed to stay there as long as she wants. And there was a special wreath-laying ceremony today at the grave of President Garfield at Lakeview Cemetery in Cleveland. The late president would have been 182 years old today. He'd be really old. Garfield was born in Moreland Hills and was the 20th president of the United States before his life was taken by an assassin just 200 days into his term. His great-grandson, Randolph Garfield, helped to lay the wreath today. And we'll be right back after this.